Hello and welcome to my second video Gambit. Today we'll be discussing Avengers Infinity War and how I believe the events will unfold in Marvel's latest installment. Let's begin.
Everything changes.
Hopefully many of you remember Avengers, Earth's Mightiest Heroes, that many fell in love with back when it was first started in 2010. This version of the Avengers featured a rotating cast that included many heroes before they were even popular in the public eye, such as Black Panther and Falcon. However, Marvel canceled this show in light of their upcoming Avengers Assemble. Unlike other cartoons Disney took control of at the time, Avengers Assemble did not completely replace Earth's Mightiest Heroes. Instead, it served as a spiritual successor, and it referenced it multiple times and acknowledged certain events that happened prior to the new show. It is in these shows, and a couple others that we're going to take a look at, where I believe we will find hints and clues and keys that point to how everything will play out exactly in Avengers Infinity War. As I mentioned previously, these shows acted as a catalyst for the introduction of new characters, such as Falcon, Hawkeye, Black Panther, Vision, and Ant-Man. Furthermore, many events that have happened in the Marvel Cinematic movies have happened already in the TV show long before they ever were on the big screen. The discovery of Captain America, the rise of Ultron, and the Skrull invasion were all laid out well in advance of their cinematic counterparts. It was as if Disney was testing the waters with these ideas before putting them on the big screen. One such event that we're all looking forward to is the Infinity Gauntlet, wielding all 6 Infinity Stones, and Thanos coming to destroy half of the universe with a snap of his fingers. This too was included in Avengers Assemble. However, in this incarnation, the events unfold a little differently. The Avengers first learn of the Infinity Stones when the Red Skull comes back from the edge of space with the Power Stone that he stole from Thanos. The race is now on to collect the Infinity Stones before Thanos can. After all 6 Infinity Stones are collected and kept in a vault in Stark Tower, Black Widow steals them because they start to corrupt Avengers like Tony Stark and the Guardians of the Galaxy. Shortly after this, Black Widow is forced to wield all 6 Infinity Stones and take down an army of Dormammu's mindless ones. Thanos comes back from his prior defeat after sensing the Infinity Stones being all used at once, quickly grabs them, puts them in his Infinity Gauntlet, and rapidly lays waste to the Avengers and the world. The Avengers can do nothing to stop him. He literally kills them several times. The only workaround for the Avengers in this scenario was to exploit the classic trope of villain pride. Oh, remember when we beat you when you only had that one Power Stone? Well, I bet you couldn't beat us if you only used one stone at a time instead of all 6 at once. Through this technique, the Avengers are able to get the Infinity Gauntlet back from Thanos and save the world. But I don't think this is how it's going to play out in the movie. Instead, I think we have to look to a completely different cartoon now that we've established that things will happen in cartoons or can happen in cartoons prior to their big screen debut. And that cartoon is the 2012 incarnation of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Now I know what you're thinking. What does Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles have to do with Avengers Infinity War? Well, I'm glad you asked, because in the season finale of Season 3, we actually had a very similar situation. A quick side note here, if no one has ever seen the 2012 show, spoilers, and I highly recommend you go watch this show in its entirety. It is one of the best, if not the best, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles TV series ever made. I don't know how Rise of the TMNT is going to stack up with this, but I can tell you this show pulls no punches. But back to its relevance. So, similar to Avengers Assemble, there is an episode where the Triceratons, the enemies of the Krang, come to destroy Earth to cleanse it from the pollution that is the Krang. To do so, they bring a black hole device and place it in the heart of New York City. They attempt to team up with Shredder and the villains in order to stop the black hole device from sucking the entire Earth into one giant black hole. However, an unexpected onslaught of plot twists happen in just the last 5 minutes of the show. Shredder takes the opportunity to kill Splinter, and the black hole device actually does get activated, and the entirety of Earth gets sucked into absolute nothingness. The Turtles narrowly escape with the help of course, Deus Ex Machina in the form of the Fugitoid, a fugitive android who's running from the Triceratons and was trying to get to Earth before they did. Arriving a little late, he is able to only pick up the 4 turtles before the Earth is completely destroyed. Unable to save Earth, he turns back time 6 months, allowing the turtles to have the ability to try and stop the Triceratons before they reach Earth. And it is along these lines that I believe Infinity War will take much inspiration from. Time for the evidence. The Russo brothers said that they wanted Thanos to be the Darth Vader for a new generation. For that to occur, I believe he has to last longer than one video. So therefore, I believe Thanos will not die in this movie. Furthermore, not only will he not die, but I think he will win. Darth Vader was able to blow up the planet of Alderaan and chop off Luke's hand before finally being defeated by Luke in Episode 6. Therefore, I believe that Thanos will be able to blow up a planet and kill a whole bunch of people before he is ultimately defeated in Infinity War Part 2. The Russo brothers also stressed the fact of how hard it is to show incomprehensible power on the big screen. So far, we've seen some version of comprehensible power, a large army, one Infinity Stone at a time, but we've never seen incomprehensible power on the big screen. Therefore, I believe that the entirety of this movie will solely be about Thanos getting the Infinity Stones. He will spend the majority of the movie getting them, fighting the Avengers over almost each one of them, and then eventually ending with the Battle of Wakanda and getting the last one. After securing what I believe to be the Soul Stone in Wakanda, Thanos will then finally snap his fingers and half the universe will be destroyed, cleansed from this mighty uprising of Earth's and, to some extent, the galaxy's mightiest heroes. In the middle of this cleansing destruction, the Guardians of the Galaxy are able to arrive Deus Ex Machina, pick up whatever survivors are left on Earth before it completely explodes, and fly off into space, where they will then confront Thanos in the next movie, try to wrestle back the Time Stone, and turn back time, saving that half of the universe that was destroyed. Now, the Russos said that whoever was a minor character in this movie will be a major character in the next one, and vice versa for the major characters in Infinity War Part 1. So therefore, I believe when the Guardians of the Galaxy swoop in, then they will only be able to pick up mostly minor characters and maybe 1 or 2 major ones for the next film. And here I'm going to predict the title of the second movie. Now, the Russos said that the reason why it was changed from a Part 2 to an untitled Avengers film is because they considered the title such a spoiler that they could not release it ahead of time. Hopefully that means we're going to get Avengers Secret Wars, and Spider-Man will finally be able to get his black suit the right way. Rather than having it come to Earth, he actually goes to outer space to get it. And then, depending on whether or not Tom Hardy's Venom movie is successful, Marvel may or may not adopt the Venom movie and incorporate it into the larger cinematic universe. But those are some speculations I just threw in there because the new Venom trailer came out, and I actually liked the first one, but I can say this one was definitely better. But so, because I'm trying to be a realist and not an idealist, I'm going to name the sequel Infinity Gauntlet, because it will feature the completed Infinity Gauntlet, which the Avengers will have to wrestle back from Thanos in order to undo the destruction and devastation he caused in the first movie. So to sum up real quick, here is how I believe the basic plot of the movie will unfold. Thanos will have already got the Power Stone from the Nova Corps and the Space Stone from Loki after completely trashing the Asgardian lifeboat. He arrives to Earth and is immediately confronted by Spider-Man, Doctor Strange, and Iron Man. For some odd reason, he teleports them to the planet that, for the moment, we're going to call Thanos' home planet of Titan. It is here the Guardians of the Galaxy meet up with the Avengers from New York and Thor, and they have their first battle with Thanos. Maybe we'll get some Thanos backstory at this time, or maybe it'll just be a huge battle that ends up in the death of a few Avengers, while the surviving Avengers warn Captain America and the rest of the Avengers at Wakanda about Thanos coming for the last of the Infinity Stones. Either after or during this battle on Titan, the rest of the Avengers on Earth will confront the Black Order. I don't know if that's the right name, but I'm guessing, like Proxima Midnight and the guys like that, and they will try and stop them from getting the rest of the Infinity Stones. From the looks of the trailer, they're mostly successful, and then I believe Thanos will come, do it himself as he said that he was going to, grab some of the rest of the Infinity Stones. Sorry, I think Vision's gonna die. I'd be very surprised if he lives into the next movie. Or who knows, maybe he'll live but as a weaker version of himself running off some other power source, just running Jarvis OS. Anyway, Wakanda will set up for the big battle, preparing their defenses, getting Captain America a shield, and the huge alien invasion will occur, but eventually they will lose. Thanos will grab the last stone, and as we've been teased in the trailers several times, he will snap his fingers and half the universe will cease to exist. This will lay the grounds, as I have predicted exactly, for the sequel, Avengers Infinity Gauntlet, where they will have to undo everything that occurs in this movie, and then that's why the timeline will be all messed up. This is why I believe Captain Marvel and Ant-Man and the Wasp are prequels that will be before this event, and it'll help explain why the timeline was messed up in the opening title card of Spider-Man Homecoming. Now, I know I uploaded this on a Thursday, but I can assure you I have not seen any early showings, and I will not be able to, because of my college finals, to see this movie until like 2 weeks from now. So I really, really hope that I am correct. I don't want it to be spoiled for myself. This is 100% my own prediction, and if I spoiled it for anybody because I just happen to predict everything exactly as it goes on screen, I apologize. I am eventually going to get to my reviews of the Spider-Man TV shows and movies, which I'm hoping to do as part of a collab, but we'll see how that goes. I'm also going to stretch out my conversations into the current situations revolving around controversial topics in video games, and we'll see how that goes, but I just have to, at the moment, worry about finishing finals. So if you enjoyed, please leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time for my next video Gambit.